Welcome to the Gals Guide podcast. Join us on an adventure to get to know famous and infamous women from around the world. Each of our presenters has a pick. Is she ancient history? Is she breaking news? Is she safe for work? Well, that's up to each presenter. All we know is that...
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Well, welcome back. I am Leah, and I am joined by Bonnie and Katie and Julie sharing our Defiant gal. So Bonnie already talked about Olga of Kiev, and Katie talked about Catherine Switzer, and Julie talked about NOW, the organization NOW. But before we dive back in, I want to know something random about our gal pals, and the question that I have for you somehow leads into my gal. We'll see. What role does community play in sustaining defiance? Are women stronger when they defy together rather than alone? And I feel like it's a leaded question, but go for it.
Come on.
I mean, yes, I feel like it is kind of a weighted question, right? We're always stronger when we're together.
Mhm.
But I feel like we touched in a couple episodes about how news coverage wants somebody that's the spearhead, somebody that's the big name, somebody that's famous, somebody to focus on.
The face.
Um,
Yeah.
the face of the movement, right?
Mhm.
And that's not just for women, that's just any movement, any defiance. They want the leader of it, the kind of messiah of it almost,
Mhm.
which is unfair. And I think a little dangerous
Mhm.
because we are probably not just stronger together, we're safer together.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like, this is a big group of people that support one another, that have this belief. This isn't one, rogue person, one radical. This isn't one person converting and changing people. This is like, a whole movement of people that want this change. Um, so I do think that that's really profound and something to keep in mind as we form these groups, like Julie
Mhm.
was talking about now, keeping that support and cohesion together.
I love it. Yes.
Mhm. Yeah. I think it sometimes it depends on the tribe, right? And the
Mhm.
group of people. You could be highly supported and find the right people to help you move your defiance along or change or do. And but you've got to have enough tough skin to also deal with the people who don't agree
Mhm.
and be okay with that, but also have that protective. I think it can yin and yang for you.
Right. Yeah.
And you have to be okay with people who are there for the first part, but maybe like the suffragettes, like we've talked about previously, that then fraction off and do the other thing
Mhm.
because they believe in that. You know what I mean? So that's the hard part too, is to be okay letting those people go.
Yeah.
So
I dig it.
yeah,
I think you can do it on your own, but it's better when you do it together.
yeah,
You can be Olga of Kiev and
Mhm.
just slaughter everyone by yourself, and that's
Mhm.
fine.
yeah.
Or you can be a suffragist and band with women from all across the country to get something done. I think the load is lighter. And
Mhm.
people have different strengths um, that you can utilize.
Yeah. Very much so.
Yeah.
The first thought when I was thinking about this question was there was a movie called Whale Rider. And she had this line in her beautiful monologue, which is sometimes leaders get tired. So we need lots of leaders.
Yeah.
So that was something that made me think of too, because, defiance is exhausting. You are coming at things from a whole bunch of different sides. You are trying to recreate something new. You're trying to create change. And
Yeah.
it is tiring. So that strength in numbers, not only to keep individuals motivated, but also if you get a leader that's just damn tired and just needs some R&R to then come back fresh into the fight, that put your oxygen mask on before putting it on others. It's
Mhm.
also very helpful for the strength of the whole
Mhm.
defiance and purpose. And so, like we're saying, we need all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. And so this
Yeah, but
kind of, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the tired is real for those,
Yeah,
and I say those of us loosely, but those of us who fight the fight every day, right?
right.
And
And it's
as
designed to be exhausting. So you quit.
it is,
Yeah.
and for those of us who are passionate about a project or passionate about a business or passionate about what we believe in
Hmm.
to the point where we put it publicly out there,
Hmm.
it is exhausting. And there are
Yeah.
times you're like, I'm pushing the rock up the hill again. You know what
Hmm.
I mean?
But damn it, Sisyphus.
Yeah, right. I mean, my thighs look great, but you know what I'm saying?
Like, I could use a break in this afterlife. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, for real.
So I have two ladies that I'm going to talk about as my defiant pick. And I don't know how much of this will come off as cold medicine, because if you're not aware of it, from the sound of my nose, I'm on lots of it. But I have a pair of Irish ladies who I found so adorably defiant that I had to share them with you, because I also just needed to be in their orbit for a while. Like, I just needed to know more about these wonderful ladies. So I have Lady Eleanor Butler and Sarah Ponsonby.
Fancy,
Nice.
So the time
fancy.
period we're talking about is the olden times, not as much as Olga of Kiev, but we're talking 1755 to 1831. So a far backs, and we're talking about high-born Irish ladies. So ladies in the sense of actual ladies.
The
So I'll
corsets with the things up and the
Right,
thing. Yeah.
exactly. The tea and crumpets. You know what I mean? Like all of the refinery and rules and regulations of highborn ladies. Yes, exactly. So I'll start with Eleanor. So Eleanor, she grows up in a country estate. She's in Kilkenny, Ireland. At this point, we're going to start where she's 39 years old. Okay. She's unmarried, so she's a spinster, right? That's the glorious term of an unmarried 39-year-old is a spinster. It also means that she is a financial burden on her father, who is the Earl of Ormond. And there's an E on the end of it, but I don't know if I pronounce it Ormandy or Ormond. I think it's in that French vein, so I'm going to say no E. Colbert. So I read two things. One that said her parents were getting ready to send Eleanor off to the convent, and another one that said they did send her to a convent in France. So I don't know which one. What I do know is she liked to read a lot, and she wasn't gonna marry a dude. That's my defiant Eleanor as we meet her. Now, Sarah. Sarah is 23 years old, and she lives about 12 to 15 miles away from Eleanor. So far enough, but not that far, right? Sarah's father was a member of Irish Parliament, but Sarah was orphaned at age 13. She's now living in an estate as well, and with her cousin, the Lady Elizabeth Frownies. Frownies? Her cousin was also in poor health, and so much so that Elizabeth's husband, William Frownies, started telling Sarah that, like it or not, she will be the next Lady Frownies of the house. Creepy, right? Yeah. So this is, of course, on top of like making moves on Sarah while his wife is sick, and it's just planting the seeds of defiance in Sarah. When Eleanor and Sarah finally meet, they had a very typical highborn ladies kind of friendship, right? You kind of hear about writing letters to one another, visiting each other, but then it started to get intense. They started to really be bonded with one another. They started sending secret letters. You can tell why I love these ladies, right? So they decided to hatch a plan to run away together, right?
Was hoping it was going to be poisoning the other dude.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that would have been great. Unfortunately, not in the story. Running away together would be the story, yes. So here comes the historical account, and this is from a biography by Elizabeth Maver. And she talks about how Sarah tells her family. She says she would not alter her intention, which was to live and die with Miss Butler.
All right, girl.
She was clear. So the two ladies, Eleanor and Sarah, they dress as men and they run away together in April of 1778.
Nice.
And Sarah brought her dog, Fisk. And I knew Bonnie would love not only the fact that a dog went with them, but that I know its name.
It's impressive.
Right? Exactly. It's all part of the gloriousness of the story. So, but the ladies had to wait for the ferry to cross the Irish Sea. And while they were waiting for the ferry, they hid out in a barn where they were caught. Somebody
I'm
found
picturing,
them.
like
Yeah.
winged fairy,
like the boat.
magical lesbian fairy to come down.
Yes.
No, like the boat. It's the boat.
It feels like
Although that would have been
this
better.
is a sadder story now. Like, oh
Yeah.
man, why wasn't it the winged fairies?
Yeah.
Yes. No, that actual boat. So they were caught. They were returned to their individual homes in April. And then in May, Sarah got sick. And so Eleanor, 100% defiantly, decides to run away and run to Sarah's house to be with her because she's sick.
Aw.
She could not be without her while she was sick. So Sarah's maid, who is Mary Caryll, she decides to help. So there's this trifecta of defiance that is now happening because Mary helps Eleanor hide inside Sarah's room and also brings her food. So she's hiding out in Sarah's room.
That's love,
Isn't
isn't it?
it? Yes,
They
I
bring
will
you
sleep
food.
underneath the bed because you're sick and I want to help you.
Yeah. And bring you food.
Yes, exactly. Now, eventually, Eleanor was found. But instead of taking her back to her home, Sir Creepy Nuts, that's what I've decided to call him, the one that's like, you will be the next one. Yeah, Sir Creepy Nuts. So like it or not, that's going to be his name. He wrote Eleanor's dad, said, you need to come and collect her because she is in our house, right? And now I kid you not, Eleanor's dad wrote back and said he couldn't be bothered. He will send money for her to just leave Kilkenny. He's no. She's just going to keep running away. So Sarah, of course, wanted to go with her. If you have to leave Kilkenny, I'm not staying here with Sir Creepy Nuts. I would also like to go as well. Sir Creepy Nuts didn't want her to go, but he didn't stop her because his wife's still alive, technically.
Technicalities.
You're right, the little technicalities. So, yeah, so within a few weeks, the ladies, Eleanor and Sarah, leave with Mary the maid. The maid also comes with them, and they start their new life together. So the ladies took about a year to actually tour the Welsh countryside. Lovely. I want to know how much money Eleanor's father just, fuck you money, basically.
Yeah. Well, quite literally.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they used that to tour the countryside to figure out where they wanted to settle. And they ended up settling in a cottage of Llangollen. And they named their little house, their cottage, they called it Plas Newid, which translates to New Hall. Sometimes New Mansion, but mostly like New Hall. Also, a word of warning for you Googling people. The Plas Newid, there are two of them. One of them is a giant castle in Anglesey. The other one is a smaller cottage in Llangollen, which is theirs, but it's called the same thing. It got me confused. I'm like, that's not a small cottage. What the fuck?
I mean, in castle terms, maybe.
Yes,
but,
exactly.
yeah.
Yes, no. But yeah, there are
Our
two of
summer
them.
home. Yeah.
Right. It's just down the river a little bit. Yes.
Yeah.
But the ladies took this cottage and they made it their own. They inserted stained glass windows in a very Gothic style. They had a library with finely bound books, which made me all giddy. They displayed their collections and curiosities that they had collected. One said that they had a piece of hair from Mary, Queen of Scots in their collection.
Ooh.
Who knows if it was real or not? Doesn't tell.
Victorians and their weird hair shit.
Yeah. It's like they knew about genetics before they knew about genetics, or just were weird. Either one.
They're
Yeah,
so
they're
weird. They put
weird.
hair in everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is true. They also really loved carvings. So their front porch actually had carvings to look like 4 evangelists. And the Duke of Wellington arrived one day and had a carved lion, which then spread around town that if you brought them a carving, that they would definitely let you into the house.
I mean, had to be.
Right, exactly. Bring them a book, bring them a carving. They
Or
were
would they consider that a cover fee? Like,
Maybe.
that's your cover to get in as the carving?
Exactly. Either that or it's just, it's like, okay, you must be a decent human being. You brought me something. You know what I mean? And it's not a casserole dish. So,
Or a toaster or a blender.
right, exactly. But they did have some very interesting guests, a lot of them poets. So William Wordsworth actually visited them, Anna Stewart, Robert Southley, Sir Walter Scott was not necessarily a poet. Ada Lovelace's creepy father, Lord Byron, visited them. So
Oh.
yes, exactly. That's correct. And also, Mary Shelley's husband, sometimes called the creator of her own work, Percy Shelley, also was known to visit the ladies as well.
Also boo.
Okay, there you go. That's fair. Percy Shelley. No, Wordsworth did write about them. I'll link it on galsguide.org. Or you can also Google it too, but there is a sonnet called To the Lady E.B. and the Honorary Miss P. And so it's a sonnet to the ladies. Anna Stewart also wrote a poem about them. It's a longer poem, and I'll also put it in the show notes too. The Llangollen Vow, that was the poem that she wrote about them. I also found this one. Okay, so a German nobleman also visited them, and he wrote about them in his book of travels. And his name, Prince Hermann von Puckler Muskau.
Nuh-uh.
No.
Prince Puckler. Prince
No.
Puckler. Seriously.
No.
Yeah, it was too funny to not enter into this.
Okay, let's hear that one more time.
Prince Hermann von Puckler Muskau.
See, you need that with one of the ladies with 4 names.
Right.
And then they can be
Yeah.
Von Muskow on top of it.
But this guy, I was watching
yeah,
this video to like
no.
pronounce it right, and the
Yeah.
guy was like, he kept saying Prince Puckler, and I'm like, oh my god, just change the P to an F, and we've got ourselves a winner.
Mhm. Yeah. Wow.
But apparently, that's what he went by. Cool. Another visitor that came to see the ladies was Anne Lister. Anne Lister is actually dubbed the first modern lesbian. She visited the ladies, and it is suspected that after visiting the couple, inspired her to actually marry her lover Anne Walker and go on a honeymoon and be right. Exactly. So I love that kind of inspiration-ness.
Yeah.
Queen Charlotte, who we know from Bridgerton, right? But Queen Charlotte heard about the ladies as well and their unique house and their many visitors. She convinced King George III to grant them a pension. So she got them money,
No kidding.
right? So they were popular.
Who's the favorite now?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. It's not a carving, but you get a stipend.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
My guess is that, well, I can't bring them a carving. I guess I'll just pay for their livelihood for the rest of their lives. Okay, you win.
I'll take a sugar mama. Let's bring it. Come on.
Mhm. Yeah. I
So
like it.
does that mean instead of getting money from their daddy, that the king is now their daddy?
Right. Well, they were still getting a little bit of fuck you money from their daddy, but not that much. So the queen's like, I'll be your mama now. Yes. And King Daddy. Yes.
And King Daddy. Phrases I'm going to start using in my everyday life.
Okay, there you go. Good. King
Yeah.
Daddy. I like it.
King Daddy.
Especially when you go into Burger King is when I think you should use it the most.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Because you rule. Sorry, I couldn't.
I was waiting for
I'm
it.
starting to get hungry at this point,
But
and so everything's going to be a food reference. So, but according to Sarah Shipman, she said, quote, "It is not known for sure whether Eleanor and Sarah's relationship was sexual, but it was certainly romantic. The two women were exceptionally close, calling each other my better half and signing their letters jointly." with each other as well.
So
So
adorable.
it's really, really
It is,
cute.
yeah,
Yes, I know. This is why I wanted to like just stay in this.
yeah,
Now this is also before the term Boston marriage. Have y'all heard of Boston marriage before, right?
yeah.
So that's where two women live together in a platonic way without the support of a man. The term came in 1886, and it's kind of from a Henry James novel, but we're talking 100 years prior to that. But I do bring it up because if you Google or Wikipedia entry Boston marriage, it's a picture of Eleanor and Sarah.
Oh, fun.
But it's 100 years before the term Boston marriage.
Right.
And I will also say, two women living together without a man is ancient and current. So, like, it doesn't really matter so much when the term was.
Right.
Um, but Eleanor and Sarah, they're part of queer history, so it's important to put them within those labels and then outside those labels as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're adorable. But by all accounts, Sarah and Eleanor's relationship, it wasn't just platonic. There was romance and there was an outward showing of being a mutual pair in equality, equity to each other. So even though you look at that Boston marriage necessarily page, there was also a written article in a magazine that said the two ladies had a sexual relationship. And there was talk of whether or not the ladies were going to sue the paper for libel. So,
Ooh.
so whether or not they're like, no, 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 that is not what our relationship is. But they also had a dog named Sappho. So I'm just gonna let you guys jump to whatever conclusions you want to or don't. It's totally fine of what their relationship was. It's none of our business yet. It's fine.
No. Yeah. Yeah. I kind of want to go. You. You what?
Right?
You think it? Okay. I mean, you think what you want if it helps you sleep at night, but let
Sure.
these people alone. And it sounds like, for the most part, their circle kind of let them do their thing.
Yes, the town actually loved them. So
Good.
people loved the story of them running away together. The villagers talked in delight every time they came into town. They were treasures of the village and they were known as the Ladies of Llangollen. So they were
I
very
love it.
much loved in their community for being their unique, wonderful selves.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
They also wore the latest fashions from France, and they wore mixed gendered clothing. So they wore top hats and riding jackets over their big old skirts. So they were a sight to see and fabulous while they were doing it.
Sounds like it. The OG drag queens or
Yes.
drag kings, I guess.
Right. It was talk that they were doing it because they were outside a lot. They had a very expansive garden that they worked on. And they're like, this is what you wear when you're riding horses and you're working in the garden. It just makes sense. The
Yeah.
top hat, I think, would get in the way of gardening, but sure.
Maybe that's just for town.
Right. That's the town look. Yes, exactly. For the towns folks, they do love a good top hat.
Well, sure.
So Eleanor and Sarah, they spent 50 years together.
Wow.
Eleanor died at the age of 90, and Sarah died 2 years later.
Okay.
And Mary, the maid, so Mary the maid actually died first. She died 20 years before Eleanor.
Oh, yeah.
But the three ladies are all buried in the same plot with the same grave marker. When Mary died, they had decided that they would all be buried together and that they would stay together for eternity. And so they had commissioned a three-sided Gothic monument that fell into disrepair but was repaired in 2010 and can still be toured and all that kind of good stuff. And if you want to see their house, it's a museum.
Cool.
So you can actually go visit if you are in North Wales. Visit not only their house but also their monument gravestone marker to Eleanor and Sarah and Maid Mary. I always want to say Maid Marian, but that's Robin Hood.
Well, yeah.
But Maid Mary.
Wonder if they still have the hair.
Somebody has it. You know that stuff
Creepy.
doesn't just go away, right?
It's
Oh.
in some Victorian Gothic mart somewhere, probably.
Right, exactly. I mean, because I found it in detail, it might even still be in the house in the museum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Uh,
sure, hair. Let's collect that.
well, didn't Victorians collect teeth too? Like they
Yeah.
collected weird body parts.
Whatever they could find, it feels like, or whatever they could possibly claim was somebody, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the vibe was about that. I'm with you on that, Bonnie. It gets
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like
It is
creepy.
weird. Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very like that's the most like gothic era of doing weird, creepy stuff of them, the photograph comes out, so then they wait until someone dies and they prop them up so they can
Yeah.
get a photo.
Yeah.
Right.
They have a
Yeah,
family
the death
photo
mask. Yeah.
and
Yeah, the death mask.
like
Yeah.
a group photo and one of them is dead.
Yeah.
No, thank you. No, no,
Like,
no.
Yeah. I used to hear stories from my southern people who are weird anyway that they would the coffee table that we know as a coffee table or an
Yeah.
ottoman,
Yeah.
they would lay people out on that.
Oh, yeah. Yep, exactly. Yeah, because it was cheaper to have that than in the church or in a funeral parlor. So
Mhm.
just everybody come and do the wake at the house.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
this wasn't just Victorian time. This was like in the 60s, 50s.
Right.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
My
Yeah,
people are weird and backwatered. So I'm so sorry.
happens.
Uh, yeah.
Happens.
I would love to say they were being Victorian and Gothic. No, they were just being hillbilly.
Cheap. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You just don't have the
That was-
money and you have to do some kind of like, some kind of funeral,
yeah.
some kind of awareness,
Yeah. When you
some
got a
kind of,
goodwill budget, but your brain is thinking champagne. You know what
right?
I'm saying?
Exactly. This is true.
Yeah.
But
So
that's who I had for you, Eleanor and Sarah. I thought they
th-
were they were
they
a
sound
cute
amazing.
cute version of Defiance. And so
Yeah.
it's like, hey, it takes all kinds.
No, but they sound like not only were they just comfortable being themselves, but
Mhm.
they made other people comfortable
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah. Just by
Yeah.
being themselves.
Yeah, they're like, this is who we are.
Exactly.
And it sounds like that. I mean, it's great that the villagers took him, just accepted him. That's who
Right.
they are, and it's cool. But it's another way to reinforce that, you know, humanity in mass is terrible, but humans are good people
Right.
overall.
They have that capability.
Most of the time,
Right.
most of the time,
Exactly.
if
There's
you can sit,
exceptions. Yeah.
yeah, if you can sit and talk and get to know people, typically
Mhm.
you can find a common ground somewhere.
And if you can get
Typically.
poets to write about you, I guess it helps. And queens to give you money. Why not?
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
adorable. In the little etchings of them,
Mhm.
it looks. I don't know if the person drawing them is just they're wanting to make them appear more manly with their little suits, but it looks like they have short hair. At
Yeah.
least in those too. So
That's
I
what
don't
I've
know if
only
that's
I haven't seen that written down, but I have seen it in all of the images that have yeah, so I can only assume they also had the pixie cut.
So maybe that's why they top hatted,
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah,
Mhm.
true.
because hair was a big deal in the Victorian age.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I like
So,
The whole
it.
time I'm picturing from if you've seen the series Anne with an E,
mhm.
it's about and shoot. Um
It's the
the
Anne of Green Gables, but
yeah.
yes.
Uh there's at least in I think she's in the books, but I know she's in the series that they have a aunt that comes to stay with them because the lady that she's living with has passed away.
Ah.
So she's come to live with them for a while. And eventually they go and visit her in the city. And it's just like a giant, they just have giant queer dinner parties. And it's amazing.
Yes. Like all your best aunt should be. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Um, that's
Fantastic.
amazing. No, they sound like really like I'd never heard of them before, so I can't wait to dive a bit
Yeah,
deeper,
exactly.
find out a little bit more, and pull up their little tin types.
Exactly. Very much so. Well,
Yeah.
should I wrap it up for the month for Defiance Month? Sweet. Well, that wraps up Defiance Month. Join us next month as we share stories of women who rose against unjust and oppressive governments. Next month in our Rebel Gal era, it is time for political change. Thanks so much for listening.
That's another chapter in our Rebel era. Thanks for being here. If you loved learning about women's history today, don't stop. Discover even more wise gals and untold stories at galsguide.org. Until next time, keep sharing women's stories.